Hirokazu Koreeda's Afterlife 1999 is among the director's earliest and most formative works. The film depicts a metaphysical way station where the recently deceased spent 1 week selecting a single memory from their lifetime. With the assistance of the station's staff, they recreate this chosen moment, which becomes the sole recollection they carry into eternity. By merging elements of fiction and documentary, Koreeda constructs a delicate meditation on two central themes that recur throughout his oeuvre: memory and death. Koreeda's cinema exemplifies a restrained form of realist narration. The film adopts a quasi-documentary form, characterized by strong structural framing that produces both aesthetic order and emotional distance. This compositional rigor functions as a visual correlates to the director's ethical and narrative restraint. Two key compositional strategies, central framing and the rule of thirds, function as visual anchors throughout Afterlife. In the interview sequences, subjects are centrally positioned and directly address the camera, their symmetrical framing and lack of nose room transforming testimony into a confessional exchange that breaks the fourth wall. By contrast, the rule of thirds visually traces the evolving relationship between Mochizuki and Ichiro. When they first meet, they stand slightly outside the thirds, separated by a clear foreground-background hierarchy that conveys emotional distance. As their collaboration deepens, they gradually move inward towards the thirds, signifying growing intimacy. When Mochizuki decides to depart for heaven, the visual distance returns, only to be resolved in the final scene, where the two again occupy opposing thirds, a balanced composition symbolizing reconciliation and mutual understanding. The film also makes distinctive use of diagonal compositions. Beyond explicit diagonal divisions, Koreeda frequently constructs implied diagonals through the spatial arrangement of figures and objects. For example, Mochizuki and Ichiro's conversation in the upper left background forms a diagonal axis with a lamp in the lower right foreground, generating spatial extension and visual depth. In another shot, the musicians in the upper left background and the conductor in the lower right foreground form a counterbalancing diagonal, producing compositional equilibrium that evokes tranquility and quotidian stability. Equally significant is Koreeda's use of frame within a frame composition. In the opening scene, newly arrived souls emerge through a smoke-filled doorway, their blurred outlines evoking the liminality of death and the ambiguity of the afterlife. This device establishes a tension between reality and illusion that recurs throughout the film. The corridor window, often framing Mochizuki and Ichiro, becomes the central internal boundary. Guided by leading lines, it encloses both figures and sky, implying that while the moon appears framed, it is the characters who remain confined within this transitional space, those unable to choose a memory trapped there indefinitely. Mirrors similarly function as framing elements, reflecting subtle emotions and adding spatial depth, while the shot of a deceased man seen through an airplane window encapsulates his solitude within memory, symbolizing the inviolability of personal recollection. Among the shot scales in Afterlife, the medium shot and close-up create the film's most significant visual contrast. The medium shot, Koreeda's characteristic human scale, dominates, framing the deceased and staff in static, eye-level compositions that evoke calm empathy and moral equality. This perspective maintains emotional balance, avoiding both sentimentality and detachment. In contrast, close-ups appear only at moments of emotional climax, when a character chooses a memory or reaches a resolution. As the camera advances and the frame contracts, emotion solidifies, turning the close-up into a metaphor for the preservation of memory, a moment where feelings and narrative attain permanence. Long shots and wide shots, by contrast, function primarily to establish spatial order and provide rhythmic transitions. The interplay between serene observation and sudden intimacy creates a visual dialectic of distance and proximity, restraint and revelation. In terms of camera angles, Koreeda consistently employs the eye-level shots, reinforcing an objective and naturalistic mode of narration. The camera movement is similarly restrained, dominated by long takes and static shots that convey the quiet flow of time within the way station, embodying Koreeda's aesthetic minimalism and moral composure. As Koreeda remarked, "I was surprised. I didn't expect people to speak about their memories so gracefully." The film reflects on the relationship between cinema and memory. A great film can momentarily evoke eternity. Thus, Afterlife is less a film about death than about life, an inquiry into the fundamental question that confronts every human being: which memory would you choose to keep forever?